And war is politics, bloodshed. That's a quote by Mao Zedong. And with that quote, I welcome you to Atn Politics on Atlantic Television Network, right here in the city of Port Harcourt. Atn Politics is the network's flagship program that discusses core political trends with relevant political stakeholders. And today on Atn Politics, we will be discussing core political issues from different political landscapes, such as Edo Guba's PDP appeals judgment invalidating primaries. El Rufai's son predicts President Tinubu's ouster in 2027. Supreme Court grants local government areas financial autonomy, and group warns G60 lawmakers to keep off River State. Before I introduce our guests, we'll take this very short break, and when we return, we head into the business for the day. Stay tuned and don't move a muscle.
Every day, our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics.
Nobody's ambition is what's the blood.
I have fought very firmly.
Natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today. Are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, political current, covers it all on ATN Politics today.
High Court's judgment that invalidated the primaries that produced Asue Ighodalo as its gubernatorial candidate in the forthcoming 2020-24 governorship elections in Edo State. The appellant PDP, in an appeal hinged on 25 grounds, asked the appellant court to set aside the judgment of the lower court delivered on July 4th, 2024. You recall that Justice Inyang Ekwo of the Federal High Court, Abuja, had declared the PDP primary elections that held on February 22nd in Edo State as invalid. Yes, sir. Concerning the PDP in Edo State, they are not taking it lying down. They have decided to go for appeal. But will there be enough window of time in a rectification from the appeal court, or are they going to go back to the primaries again? What's the stance?
For me, I'll be very blunt, no matter whose ox is God.
Exactly, sir.
A house divided against itself can never stand. Until a crucial election with a divided house. Politics is supposed to be an all-comers affair, where all shades of interest and opinion are supposed to be catered for. And Edo PDP, I think what really happened in Edo PDP was that some persons somewhere didn't like the face of somebody. They felt the person was becoming very overbearing. They felt the person had this larger-than-life attitude at the grassroots, and they were bent on stopping him. But forgetting that they also rode on the wings of that same person as a grassroots man to become what they did. So at the end of the day, people should learn how to keep to terms of agreement. Who knows the terms of agreement they did overnight?
Yes.
And at the end of the lower court. Like I said, it will serve as a lesson. It's not a professional body. It's an all-comers affair where you have the motopark person, you have the artisan, you have the street people, and you also have the quote and unquote, the technocrats.
Yeah.
So everybody must come together under one umbrella. Nobody is more important than the other, and nobody is completely useless. Even the man who you think is a street person has some street credibility.
Exactly.
And he can also reach out to members.
The way that Philip Shaibu was treated wasn't fair enough.
Of course, it wasn't fair the way he was treated. It wasn't fair. He wasn't given the right to contest. He was not given. And as a human being, even a child that the mother is breastfeeding, even if that child cannot do anything, that child can actually bite the nipple. And it's quite painful.
Yes, yes.
So you don't underestimate any person.
Very true, very true. I like the way you attack that. And this serves as a lesson for other political parties to also learn from what the PDP Edo State is going through. Just as Mr. Denko has just said, that nobody is too minor to play any particular role, and that none should be sidelined when it comes to political participation. And from there, let's move on to Bashir, the outspoken son of former Governor Nasir El-Rufai, has attacked President bringing President Tinubu under his fury. The junior El-Rufai said the IMF and the World Bank could not save the president, and his strategies in controlling Lagos cannot work.
The Nigerian people will decide if he's fit enough, or if he's capable, or if he has what it takes to lead the country again in 2027. But whatever I say here now, it's like a one-man opinion, which I believe may not really count. But on the contrary, also, what Nigerians and what Nigeria is going through at the moment is something that we've never had in the history of this country going into the next election, except something is done to alleviate what is really happening in Nigeria. It's a very...
Okay, now, we are hearing El-Rufai's son blowing very hot. We know that he is not yet a stakeholder as it concerns politics in Nigeria. His father is the one that we know per se, but he might know something that we don't. And his father was not able to deliver the state for the APC. And he was not able to scale through into the ministerial nominees list. Is this a vendetta because he did not get what he wanted? Because if he was a minister per se right now, he wouldn't have told this part. Although he has been following Atiku Abubakar, going into some consultations with opposition parties, seeing how to unseat the president.
Where personal interest supersedes all other group person's agenda is what he or she intends to gain from the collective interest. So maybe if El-Rufai thinks that he didn't make the ministerial list, as most of the former governors were made ministers, for me, it's not something where heaven should fall. It's not something where all hell will be let loose. So for him, I think he should take it in his stride and move on. Politics, if we're not friends today, tomorrow we could be friends.
Okay, because from the way I see it, he used to be a member of the All Progressive Congress, and he has met with the SDP. He has met with the presidential candidate of the PDP, and they have been paying visits to both General Abdusalam Abubakar, both IBB, both and also former President Muhammadu Buhari, all in the scope of trying to wrestle power from the president. And we have this gentleman agreement that there's a dichotomy between the North and the South. You go for 8 years, we go for 8 years, irrespective of the party. But I know that it's not in the Constitution. But be that as it may, the present president is serving his first 4 years. If he gets to the next second year, tenure, it should be by the people. The people will...
They are free. There is freedom of association. There's freedom of movement, except when it becomes a threat to national security.
Exactly.
That's when it becomes an issue. They are free to meet. They are free to... how will I put it? They are just free to do whatever they want to do within the ambits of the law. No problem. But when it becomes a threat to national security, it will be handled in that manner.
What do you think about the supposed pairing or maybe the platform that could arise between maybe El-Rufai promoting himself as the vice president and also bring in Peter Obi as the president? Would it be able to be a tag team that will be able to ensure the exit of the present president, even with his political sagacity?
Nigerians will decide.
I want to know your opinion.
No, Nigerians will decide. The president is just in his first tenure.
Yes.
And 1 year and some few months gone. A year and 2 months.
Exactly.
So whoever wants to start now, they should start. But the onus lies primarily on Nigerians to decide who becomes.
On trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
Every day our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics,
Nobody's ambition is what they blood.
I have fought very firmly.
natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
Across the ocean, to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
Every day our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics,
Nobody's ambition is what they blood.
I have fought very firmly.
natural it all on ATN Politics today. Every day, our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics,
Nobody's ambition is what the blood.
I have fought very firmly.
natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
Across the ocean, to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories.
Here with Okechukwu Odenkwo, a political analyst of no mean repute, and we've been dissected for state governors, standing to the credit of the local governments in the federation, directly to the local government areas managed by democratically elected officials. Justice Emmanuel Agim, in a lead judgment on the historic ruling, also held that it is unconstitutional for state governments to retain and use allocations made and meant for the LGAs on their behalf without transferring the same to them as provided in sections 162 subsection 3 of the Constitution. The Apex Court's judgment followed a suit filed by Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi, seeking full autonomy for the 774 local government areas in the country. Sir, concerning this breaking news, just broke today, it has been a running battle since 2013 that local government autonomy, the fight for local government autonomy, both from the political parties, both from the governors. Judgment, sir.
Well, this is a landmark judgment.
No good.
And anything that is landmark in nature is something that is historic. You know, I've said it over and over that local government chairmen were more or less tied to the apron strings of the governor or governors. And having government is something that is constitutional. We have the 3 tiers to state government.
Yes.
House. But you see, the local government headquarters is something or somewhere that is accessible. So they should feel the impact. They should, for local government chairmen, now they are now answerable to the people. Exactly. And no longer the government or the governor.
State governors.
So now they will actually carry out people-oriented programs and projects, knowing very well that you would want to go back. Local level, they decide who becomes your councillor.
Yes.
They decide who becomes your local government chairman. And it's a victory for democracy. It's a victory for the common. Limited form of control from the state governor. But going by it, then there should also be certain laws which would not make the House of Assemblies to control these local governments or start putting banana peels for them that at the end of the once you slide, you fall down. No. There should be enabling framework. There should be laws that will also allow these people to run independently. Knowing very well that if local government is run independently, power comes back to the people. Okay. And we now have local government projects that are people-oriented. Knowing very well that if you don't do what the people like, you cannot go back.
PC. We have not heard that from the courts, but and also to control corruption.
Of course, there should be that framework. There should be that setting so that at the end of the day, any person that is perceived to do what is anti-people what is unconstitutional and also corrupt. The law will definitely take its course, and we'll have the agencies of government like the ICPC and the EFCC. So at the end of the day, power belongs to the people and power goes back to the people. And the people can always call on these agencies if you have clear-cut evidences. You can write.
Anyway, we're chatting forward with the present autonomy of the local government areas. We want to see better things happen, not just because the law has been passed or because the interpretation of the law, because this has been in existence, but the Supreme Court, the courts just put a teeth to the meat. And I want us to educate also, what would be the way forward? What do you expect from the local government areas with these powers that they are being granted?
Well, they should hear you don't start whipping up sentiment, because what it's doing at this point is whipping up sentiment. This whole thing started as a family problem that snowballed into a political crisis. And every political crisis requires a political solution.
Exactly.
And where political solution fails, I think they should go into robust litigation so that the law will definitely take its course. And at the end of the day, let the law take its course. Whoever, one thing is paramount, is one River State. Exactly. Nobody will take River State away from us. So at the end of the day, matters are in courts. I beg every person, every man or woman of goodwill not to whip up sentiment. The state will have already been through a lot.
Okay, but in this case, Gochirin has totally, I think the only time that we heard about Imo State was the creation of a new state that he championed also. But most of,
well, for me,
subsequent times, we will want him to come here again to also bestow on us on his on the education, political education and analysis that he is best known for. We want to thank you for making it here today.
Thank you very
despite
much.
The whole stress today. It's a pleasure having you always.
Same here.
You're welcome, sir. And from your host, Raymond Ken Mbata, I say this is